Recreation regular meeting called to order at 7 p.m. Do I have any additions to the agenda?
Excuse me, Mr. President, would like to get in a quick presentation in between celebration of MAP success and public communication. And Mr. Vane, our middle school teacher, is here to do a quick presentation. So,
Is that okay with everyone?
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Chris,
Second.
seconded by Paul. All those in favor say yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Jim Thompson, for the record, is not here. He's out of town. All right. Go ahead, Ron.
Just real quickly, we know that extracurricular activities is a huge part of a student's life, and at the high school especially. And just a couple of things I'd like to mention. Our cross country, where our winter or fall sports are wrapping up, and we've had quite a bit of success to speak of. So I just would like to, Ashley Linneman did a great job at cross country state. I think she's a two-time All-State. Yep, 2 times All-State, 4 years in a row. Can someone correct me on that?
I believe it is
Yep.
4.
Yep. And the swim team had great success in their tournament this past Friday and Saturday. Allie Zimmerman, Gabby Applegrath, Anna Kutschke, and Clara Bromley were some of the swimmers that swam to great success. So congratulations on that. I'd like to mention the football season. It was great to watch that team play this year. Very exciting. All of these things add great pride to the school and the community, so I deeply appreciate being part of that. And also, the middle school scored well at the solo and ensemble, and they had many scores on 1 and 2, so I want to congratulate them also on the successful concerts. So that's it. And last thing, I want to recognize successfully, Madison had a great fundraiser this past week, and it was very successful, and they gathered a lot of food and jackets along with some cash that they were able to raise, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Vane.
Thank you. I just would like to present something to you that one of my students created in video production class. Her name is Corinne Bass, and I don't know if anybody's aware of the things that she's been going through in the last couple months. She has something called aplastic anemia, which is a rare condition that is attacking her white blood cell count. And we have been doing a lot of things around the school to help support her and her family. I asked her, as part of being in my class, if she might create a quick video and describe, what this is all about. So I'd like to present that to you and then talk to you about what we're doing for her at the school. This is something she created in her hours in the hospital. So.
Aplastic anemia
which is a very rare blood disorder where essentially the bone marrow fails.
When I was diagnosed with aplastic anemia, all of my cell lines were already down. I was already severe, so I ended up just going right into the treatment as opposed to waiting to see how much further my levels would drop.
The treatment for severe aplastic anemia can be one of two things. They can have a bone marrow transplant, but this is only about 25% of people that have a matched person in their family.
Due to the fact that I did not have a sibling that matched my bone marrow 100%, I ended up getting a different form of treatment.
The second thing that can be used to treat severe aplastic anemia is a type of treatment that essentially suppresses the immune system. This treatment's called anti-thymocyte globulin, and essentially these are proteins or antibodies that we give to destroy a person's white blood cells called T cells.
What we normally do every year for the last, gosh, 8 or 10 years now is we have a Relay for Life talent show where we donate the money to Relay for Life. This year, Mara Davison, who is a student, asked that we donate the proceeds to Corinne Bass and her family to help her out. And the talent show is next Friday from 7 until 10. We just held auditions yesterday, and we had a ton of people come out for it. I think there's like 25 or 26 people that came out. We would love to have all of them, but that would be a very long show. So we're working on that. We had some people that from the community help us to be judges, and so that was really cool. But Mara's been the person that has been basically running it. I've been advising her. And because of that, also, she became Person of the Week for MI News. So that was kind of neat, which I'll send you a link about. This is the talent show poster that was also created by students, and you might pass that around, and hope to see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Please let Corinne know our prayers are with her.
I will.
That was a great presentation.
Thank you. I'll tell her that.
Okay. Do we have any other communication? Let's move on to our student representatives.
All right, we actually had our latest meeting today during the seminar. We talked more about the dress code and what specifically we want to be changed. We came up with the idea to ask our video production class to make a video about what acceptable clothing to wear to school is. We talked about how we've seen less of an impact of school destruction, since we asked our video production class to make a video last year, and it's been successful as far as we can tell. We talked also about how we thought the parent-teacher conferences electronically signing up was and how we thought it went. We had some mixed opinions about it. Some people thought it was good for various reasons, some people thought it was bad for some reasons.
Some people thought it went well because you were kind of in and out, but other people felt that some teachers may not have had that 5-minute time limit, so sometimes it carried over and you were pushed back a little bit. So we suggested that maybe next time it would be like a 7 to 8 minute time limit, which kind of gives teachers a little bit more time. But we also talked about food and proportions, and we're going to do a little bit more like looking into it, but I think some students are concerned about if we're getting the right proportions, like compared to like elementary students or middle school students compared to like high school. And we're going to talk to Ms. Katowski about that and see what else is going on. But also, like while we're talking about food, we talked about how we had a positive feedback on like the changes in the menu. A lot of students like that. And then also last board meeting, we talked a lot about legislature. So we took that back to our group and we talked a little bit about guns and got our perspective on like gun control inside schools. And I know it's like nothing that we can really do about it, but the students' voice isn't really heard all that often. But I think a lot of students would be nervous if like they saw teachers carrying a gun with them, and there'd be like a lot of hoops to jump through in order to get that like get those nerves kind of down. But I'm pretty sure that's all.
That's good, you saved it up for us. That's a lot of stuff, so you've got some stuff to work on, that's great, and the even better part is you've got a plan for working on it, so it's nice to hear what your next steps are. We'd love to hear more from you on that. I believe we're gonna be hearing about parent-teacher conferences later, right? And we have a evaluation, but Julie will get into that later. Any questions from the board otherwise? If not, thank you very much. Okay. Moving on to correspondence and superintendent's report then.
We have a number of members from our track committee here, and look forward to having that discussion when it's related to the agenda item. So I'm ready to move on.
Okay. Anything under MCLE or personnel report specifically?
I did not attend the MCLE meeting last month. I was out of town. Something that I sent to you about that because there's school board members from throughout the county there, I'm going to try to get some feedback about the NWEA and see how it works for them, so we can maybe use that when we go forward with it.
Yep, and in his absence, I attended, we talked a lot about the third grade reading. Legislation was another discussion that was in-depth, and I know that we'll continue that conversation related to a potential grant for literacy assistance through the ISD, so that would be continued discussions.
Anything specific with personnel?
We just had a number of, we had a hire for Raymond Summers, a full-time bus driver for Route 16, and then we had a couple of substitutes that were added to our system for food service, custodian, and teacher. We did have one resignation for paraprofessional from Jefferson Elementary, and we'll be working on filling that position.
Any questions? How about finance report?
We included a report in your packet that runs through October 31st. You'll notice that we're still in a period of time where our revenues are running behind our expenditures. We've only received about 6% of our revenues. We just got our first state aid payment, but have spent around 24% of our budget. So things look to be on track from what we thought. We're finalizing our student count and getting that submitted to the state. Once we get those numbers firmed up, then we'll start the budget amendment process. But nothing jumps out or seems alarming with the numbers as they look to close the budget thus far.
When was student count?
It was a few weeks ago, first part of October, I think and our numbers were as budgeted, maybe a little bit higher, a few. But always have to wait for those numbers to be audited because of the FTE. Sometimes they're not full equivalent students, so it's hard to throw a number out there because when you do, then it's and if it's it's a little less or a little bit more, you're worried about the accuracy of that. So we are confident that we are at budgeted, which was same as last year, but we feel that we're probably a few ahead of that too.
Thank you. Moving on to our leadership team reports. Anything specifically to note?
I'll probably ask each administrator if you would like to address your newsletter or some information in your building. You could start with the high school.
I wish I could say that November is not a busy month, but it turns out that when we don't have stuff going on, we add stuff. So I know this Friday, our student council is having an assembly for Friday the 13th. So we like to get together and have a good time, at least once a month for positive behavior sports. So that's something that's coming up this week.
Middle school.
Yeah, middle school, November 9th marked the new marking period, which is a shift in electives for middle school students. They get 4 throughout the year unless they're in band, which they're in all year. So all the 7th and 8th graders were able to start a new elective this week. Student Advisory Council has met a few times, and their big plan right now is to set up or get ready for a dance near the end of December before break. We weren't able to schedule one earlier when we normally do because of other dances that were going on, Grad Bash put on. So they're excited about getting that done. Other than that, plugging along and doing well.
All right.
Yes, the most important thing is November 19th is Kathy puts on our Thanksgiving feast.
Ooh.
So you can join us on the 19th. That's our big luncheon and Thanksgiving dinner.
You just invited all of us?
Yeah, we
All right.
I've seen a lot of familiar faces on the Thanksgiving feast today.
All right, I'm just saying that. Thank you.
I'd say in the newsletter we had a reminder to parents that we have supports at home for math and on our teachers' Moodle pages. So we made sure that all of our teachers had the correct link to that, and then we reminded that they should be looking for a hard copy of a preview for their math unit. It's a little bit different than a lot of our parents are used to instructing or helping out students. So sometimes we'll hear parents say, I really don't get that math, but just a little bit of help with the vocabulary and a little bit of help with the concept goes a long ways. So hopefully that'll help out parents at home.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
Bass?
Like I said, we had a fundraiser last week. It was a fundraiser to raise awareness for the homeless youth in our school system, and there are a lot more than what you think. But thank you to the community. We had tons and tons of new clothing, donations, food, a lot of nice, like brand new things people bought and brought into school for the kids. And we took them around to the individual schools, kind of mashed up, sorted it all out, mashed up the sizes where they would go. And then there's a food program currently that one of the local churches in town is working on. It's a backpack program. So on Fridays, I'm the McKinney Bento person for the district. So as we identify homeless youth in the schools, I get their names to the backpack group, and then they pack some food up for them for the weekend on Friday, so they take that backpack home, and then on Monday they bring it back and we fill it back up on Friday. So we were able to get a bunch of food. We raised money for the school, and we raised awareness and a bunch of good stuff for the, I would say, our neediest kids. We had a walk-a-thon today. We were in a contract with a fundraising company for the last couple of years, and we've been working our way out of that, and we just want to try something new. The preliminary numbers are in, so hopefully we did okay. But we're looking for a way to take a play out of Kathy's notebook and do a fundraiser that we're not selling a bunch of bad food or cupcakes or something, and it was a healthy thing. They walked, they had healthy 100% juice smoothies, and got pledges, so we'll see how it turns out. We'll have more information probably by Friday. Fun stuff.
Kevin, you mind I don't think we can revisit it enough at this time with our distinguished Apple status. Could you summarize?
Yeah, you might remember 2 years ago, we ended up being recognized by Apple as an Apple Distinguished School. This isn't, kind of as a reminder, this isn't because we buy a bunch of Apple stuff, this is because of us having an exemplary program. This is more about what's going on in the classroom than what's going on device-wise. But previously it was just the high school was an Apple Distinguished School. Now, district-wide, we're an Apple Distinguished program. So that was really exciting, getting a notification on that. We should be getting a plaque and some banners here in the next few days. So hoping to get something in the paper about it and kind of get the word out. But that's a big testament that all the good stuff is going on, district-wide.
We have some representatives here this week, I understand.
Yes. Yep, come on.
Ken, anything to wrap up words and?
Well, fall's finishing. We just got done with the swim meet, the conference swim meet for the girls this past weekend. And if you haven't been to one before, you should probably check it out. And while you're watching the swimmers, you also need to check out Sherry Wehrmeister, who runs a flawless program. She's got a system down. Her and Lisa Kutschke have a system down, and enables me to sit back and eat pizza for that meet. But there doesn't seem to be much of a break anymore from season to season. Like there used to be this 3-4 week break, but winter sports started Monday for girls basketball and cheer, and next week it's wrestling, boys basketball. Hockey started 2 weeks ago, so we're in full swing. This winter, we're already hosting wrestling conference tournament, wrestling individual districts, MHSAA, hockey pre-regional, MHSAA, girls basketball districts, MHSAA, and middle school swim conference meet. So that's what's coming our way this winter.
Awesome. Excellent. And the spring track conference, right?
You never know.
That's
up to him.
2017. 2017. Anything new on the league conference?
Next meeting's Tuesday. High school schedules are falling into place, so we're going to start looking at middle school hopefully this week. Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else for us to call attention to? Okay, very good, thank you. Let's move on to old business, update on the track.
Well, we went through a extensive process, I believe, and thorough for our selection for our design firm, and they're here representing us tonight. And we have several committee members here tonight also. To remind you, we had 4 responses to our RFP, and we interviewed 3. We probably felt as a committee that 2 really represented a strong interview, and we selected, the group selected Foresight, I believe on the fact that they really know tracks, and that the money that was raised for this was specifically for a track, and we're very excited about the opportunity to work with them. They're very competent. They have a great track record of building public school, high school tracks in the state of Michigan and beyond. And we're just looking really forward to working with them upon the board's okay. So that's what we're here to do this evening. Any other information from the track committee, please?
Can we point out who's on the track committee?
Well, Joe Raditz is on that committee. Any thoughts, Joe?
I just am pleased that we've had competent people through the bid process, and your record speaks for itself.
Thank you.
And of course, working at Williamston had nothing to do with the process.
The W word. Ms. Wehrmeister, she was also on our committee, and I appreciate her being here tonight. And you don't have to say anything.
I'm not going to.
All right.
I'm sitting next to Joel.
All right. And Mark Stansted from the 350, Chippewa 350 Club is here, and he was part of that committee also. And so thank you for being here.
Yeah, and it's important, we're moving forward on this. There's a real exciting possibilities to work with 12th Street project. I spoke with Gary Buren today. Once we have Foresight on board, we want to get Gary and Bruce together to see how we can leverage our assets, leverage that property into more than just a youth center that's built next to a track. I think there's some real opportunities to make that a real completion of our campus, if you will. And you know, we're going to be running track meets in 2017. That's the goal. Our timeline is right on track. So we're going to keep raising money, and with all things falling into place, we'll have everything we need and be running meets in 17.
KDS, proud member of the track committee. And, any thoughts on where we're at?
Super excited, and it just seems like there's a lot of really positive momentum. And, yeah, this is when things start getting exciting.
Is there a bike lane in this track?
It's a 9-lane track.
The outside lane.
You know, just one last thing, I'm trying not to talk, but I get so excited about this, because this is without parallel for Manistee. You know, raising $500,000 for a specific program like this, it's never been done before. This is a wonderful testament for track, but it's even more so a vindication of friends and dedicated people who are affiliated with the school system. This is a big deal.
If I can quote Eric Thummel, that's a lot of chicken dinners.
Do you have any updates on the major gifts, or anything new to announce?
You know, we did receive a $50,000 gift to the foundation on our behalf for the track in the last week or so. And that's really has pushed us way forward. But again, as Mark stated, we're not done raising money by any means. But we are moving forward, feeling good.
I would just like to say I was very proud of the
Oh,
process.
and I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. We have 2 other committee members here.
Very proud of the process that we went through in picking, and we had a very diverse pickings from the community, so you know, that was really helpful. We had Jeff from the city that was really helpful with his background in our questioning of the developers and stuff, so I thought it was a very good process, and I felt really good coming out with our suggestion.
Tom was on the committee, please.
I just want to say everything you guys have said is exactly true. It was a very good process and very informative, and I think we got a good person picked out to do this, so that's a good company, so to speak.
Okay. Can we hear from the company?
Sure. For those that don't know, I'm Bruce Lemons. I'm the president of Foresight Design. I was up here a week and a half ago with Holly Marins. Holly's got a 1-year-old and she's pregnant, so let her stay home tonight. But I wanted you to meet her because she's instrumental in our company, and she's in Grand Rapids, so you'll see more of her than anybody else other than myself. We're excited to be selected by you. We have letters poised, ready to go to surveying companies and soil boring companies tomorrow, so that we can get this process started. And then, you know, while the snow starts to fly, if it does, we can get this planning started, get out for bids, and hopefully be under construction this summer. So that's kind of our goal right now, in a big picture.
Can you give us a quick synopsis of your experience?
Sure. I was hired in as a draftsman for a company. I bought it 5 years later. That was in 1990, and the entire focus on the company has been outdoor athletics. I'm a registered landscape architect, but this is really what our forte is. We do occasionally do landscape designs, but I couldn't tell you when we did our last one. It's really not our focus. Our focus is outdoor athletic facilities, and it's running tracks, tennis courts, baseball, softball, lacrosse, soccer, natural grass, synthetic grass. It covers the gamut of all surfaces.
Talk about your experience in public schools and tracks.
That's really been our forte. High schools, colleges, universities, we've done approximately, 100, 120, I think it was, track facilities. Tennis courts, got to be a couple hundred of those. Baseball, lots and lots. I have given presentations to the Michigan Sports Turf Managers Association. These are the grounds crew people that may be managing natural grass or synthetic grass. I've given talks to MSBO about synthetic systems and track systems. So this is really what we live and breathe. We're very excited to be, selected.
Well, thank you. Do we have any other questions from the board? Thank you very much. All right. Any further discussion about that? Moving on then, any issues with the future work study session?
Well, we have one scheduled for, Tuesday, November 24th is the board work study scheduled. Any concerns of the location next to the holiday? Is that, any feedback? All good?
Jim will not be here.
Jim will not be here. It's your wife's birthday, we'll have cake. We'll have cake and candles.
Got it.
All right, and then we have the other special meeting on the 16th of December.
Are there any issues with our calendars? And that will be a special meeting closed.
The special meeting closed.
To review our superintendent.
Yeah.
Before you go on too far, you said future work study sessions, topics, and goals. Are we're discussing it? I have something I want to bring up when the time is right, just so before you go on.
Time, all right. Well, any problems with December 16th? All right. Time is right.
Time is right. I had a parent, and actually a couple parents, come up to me and talk to me about something they had done at Mason County Central Schools, and it's the Adopt-A-Door program. And I'm not saying to do it yes or no, I'm just want to bring it to the board and maybe we can discuss it at our next board meeting. What it is the booth, the booths for the doors. And there's a form in here, and companies, people can sponsor a door and, for the boot and install it. Yeah, so you know what a boot is, we'll send it down. And, just to give you an idea, these were things we picked up at the conference that we were just at. And I wanted to send it down to everybody to take a look, but it's something I believe, and I think it's gaining steam in the community amongst parents to do this. But I think that idea of a brochure and people sponsoring a door is a really good idea. I think the cost in there was like $230 for the booth plus the installations. I'm not saying that's, you can get cheaper versions, I'm sure you can spend more, but it's just an idea, and I'd like to discuss it at a work study session, so we can.
And let's bring the, this great idea, it looks simple, and one of our concerns has been safety and what ways we need to upgrade our safety. So it'd be great if we could encompass that a little more and take a look at our safety practices district-wide, our facility safety, and review that. The question is, how much time do we need to look into that?
Well, I think it's an ongoing discussion, potential ongoing discussion that we can continue to have. So we'll start that process in November if the board sees that that's a discussion they'd like to have. It's certainly worthy.
Mason County Central or Eastern, you said?
I think it's Mason County Central, I'm pretty sure that's what it says in there. But, I'd like that information to go with Leon, and if we could hold on to it and bring it to the next.
I can, thank you.
study.
Sounds good, thank you. Great idea. Any other issues? All right, let's move on to our business and action items.
Okay, I would like to make a motion that we approve our minutes from October 14th, both regular board minutes and the closed session, and then again on October 28th, the special board meeting minutes that I presented you earlier.
There's a motion by Shelley,
Motion to accept.
a second is Paul. All those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes. All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Accounts payable?
I'd like to present to the board a total of $142,226.72 for approval.
I second that.
Motion by Paul, seconded by Tom. All those in favor say yes?
Yes.
Yes. All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Next, we have a possible action item, approve track committee recommendation of architecture design firm Foresight for our track project.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the track committee recommendation for Foresight.
Second.
Okay, motion by Tom, seconded by Chris. All those in favor? Say yes.
Yes.
All right, yes. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
We look forward to working with you.
Same here.
Anything under new business? Anything to move forward on those?
Not this time.
Second, public communication. Okay. Just as a reminder to the public, we do have those opportunities for 3 minutes to address the board. In the future, if you want to, fill out a public communication form if you wish to address us. Reviewing announcements, we do have a board work and study session Tuesday, November 24th. That will be here at Kennedy. That is a Tuesday. We have our advanced training at the ISD on December 7th, 5:30 to 9. That is a Monday, I believe. We have a regular meeting December 9th, Wednesday, here at Kennedy, and then a special meeting for superintendent evaluation, December 16th, here. Okay. Do I have any comments from the board first? And if not, motion to adjourn.
Wow. I'll make that.
All right. Motion by Shelley.